In this video, I'm going to show you the best home theater projectors you can get at every price range. No matter your budget, I will help you find the best pick for your needs. Let's go. First, we are going to take a look at the best options in the under $1,000 range. First, we have the Hisense C1. This projector's tricolor laser produced some of the most stunningly accurate and vibrant colors I've seen under $1,000, creating a picture that feels incredibly premium and cinematic. It's a fantastic all-in-one box with its sharp 4K resolution, support for Dolby Vision, and the built-in JBL speakers are genuinely impressive for a projector. However, with only 1600 lumens of brightness, you really need a dedicated dark room for the image to pop, making it less ideal for a bright living room compared to the other two. Next, we have the Epson Home Cinema 2350. The biggest advantage here is the 2800 lumens of brightness combined with its 3 LCD technology, which means it looks great even with some lights on, and you never have to worry about seeing a distracting rainbow effect. For gaming, the 120Hz refresh rate at 1080p felt incredibly smooth, and having Android TV built in is a huge convenience that the ViewSonic lacks. While I love the bright image, its black levels and overall color saturation just don't have the same deep, rich quality you get from the Hisense C1's advanced laser system. Finally, we have the ViewSonic PX700 14K. If you are a competitive gamer or need to overpower a very bright room, this is the one to get with its incredibly low input lag and a blazing 240Hz refresh rate at 1080p, all backed by a massive 3200 lumens. It delivers a true 4K image that looks impressively sharp and clear for its price, making it a fantastic value for raw performance. The trade-offs are that its single-chip DLP design can cause rainbow artifacts for sensitive viewers. Its colors are not as nuanced as the Epson or Hisense, and you will absolutely need your own streaming stick as it has no smart features built in. Next, we are going to take a look at the best options in the $1,000 to $2,000 range. First, we have the XGIMI Horizon Ultra. This is a seriously impressive machine with its laser and LED hybrid light source, giving me a 4K picture with Dolby Vision that looked incredibly vibrant and accurate right out of the box. I found the built-in Android television and Harman Kardon sound system make it a fantastic all-in-one entertainment package, and the auto keystone and focus features are genuinely magical for a quick setup. However, with its 2300 ISO lumens, it's not quite as bright as the BenQ or Epson, so I really needed a dark room to make the image pop, and its lack of optical zoom means placement is less flexible. Next, we have the BenQ X3000i. If you're a gamer, this is probably the one you've been waiting for, as its 4 millisecond input lag at 240 Hz is an absolute dream for fast-paced gaming and feels ridiculously responsive. The 4 LED light source pumps out 3000 ANSI lumens of brightness and covers 100% of the DCI-P3 color space, which made my games and movies look spectacular, even with some lights on. I did notice that its black levels, while good, are not as deep as I'd like for cinematic movie nights, and relying on the included Android TV dongle feels a bit less integrated than the XGIMI's built-in system. Finally, we have the Epson Home Cinema 3800. This projector is a real workhorse and offers a kind of flexibility the other two just can't match, thanks to its generous manual lens shift and 1.62 times optical zoom that let me place it perfectly without degrading the image. Its 3 LCD technology means there is absolutely no chance of seeing a rainbow effect, and its 3000 lumens of brightness look just as powerful as the BenQ, making it great for my living room setup. The trade-off is that it lacks any built-in smart features, so I had to plug in my own streaming stick, and its 4K Pro UHD resolution, while sharp is based on pixel shifting rather than the DLP chip technology in the others. Next, we're going to take a look at the best options in the $2,001 to $3,500 range. First, we have the Epson Pro Cinema LS12000. This projector is an absolute beast for a dedicated theater room, using its laser light source to produce an incredibly sharp 4K image with 2700 lumens of brightness that really makes the picture pop. I found it to be amazing for gaming, as it supports 4K resolution at 120 Hz with a super low input lag, making everything feel incredibly responsive. You do need to remember this is a pure projector, so it has no built-in smart television or applications, meaning you must have your own streaming stick or media player ready to go. Next, we have the Formovie theater. This one is an entirely different meal, being an all-in-one ultra short throw projector that you just place right up against your wall, complete with built-in Android television and a surprisingly powerful Bowers & Wilkins sound system. That triple laser light source creates some of the richest and most vibrant colors I've seen, hitting 2800 ANSI lumens, and it easily outshines the 5050 UB in color punch and overall convenience. The trade-off I noticed is that the motion handling for very fast scenes isn't quite as buttery smooth as the LS12000, and like any ultra short throw, it demands a very flat screen or wall to avoid image distortion. Finally, we have the Epson Home Cinema 5050 UB. For years, this has been the king of contrast for the price, and even against these newer models, its black levels are simply phenomenal, creating a deep cinematic image that is hard to beat. I love its incredible placement flexibility thanks to a massive powered lens shift, but this is a lamp-based projector, which means you will eventually have to buy and replace the bulb, unlike the long-lasting lasers on the other two. While it still produces a great 4K picture using pixel shifting, it just doesn't feel quite as razor sharp as the image coming from its bigger brother, the LS12000. Next, we're going to take a look at the best options in the $3,501 to $7,000 range. First, we have the JVC DLA-NP5. Using this JVC felt like I was in a commercial cinema, thanks to its out-of-this-world native contrast and deep inky blacks that the Sony just cannot natively match, making dark scenes in movies incredibly immersive. It is also a gamer's dream with 2 full-speed HDMI 2.1 ports for smooth 4K visuals at 120 Hz, and its frame adapt high dynamic range processing brought out amazing detail in every scene. However, its biggest weakness is the traditional lamp that is not only dimmer than the laser-powered Sony and Samsung, but will also need replacing, which feels a bit dated at this price point. Next, we have the Sony VPL-XW7000ES. The Sony immediately impressed me with its laser light source, providing a consistently bright and incredibly sharp 4K image that pops right out of the box, and you never have to worry about buying a replacement bulb like you do with the JVC. Setting it up was a bit of a chore because of the fully manual lens controls for focus and zoom, which felt terribly inconvenient after the JVC's fully motorized lens that I could adjust from my couch. While Sony's X1 Ultimate processor does a fantastic job making content look great, it lacks the JVC's 4K 120 Hz gaming support and its black levels. While good, lean more on processing tricks rather than the sheer native performance of the DLA-NP5. Finally, we have the Samsung The Premier LSP9T. This Samsung is a whole different experience. I just placed it on a media console inches from my wall to get a huge 130-inch image, and its triple laser light source is so bright and colorful that it easily overpowers ambient light in a way the JVC and Sony never could. I love that it is an all-in-one package with Samsung's smart TV operating system and a surprisingly powerful 40-watt sound system built right in, so you do not even need a separate streaming box or soundbar to get started. But in a completely dark room, its black levels definitely look more like a dark gray when put side by side with the JVC, and you absolutely must pair it with a special and often expensive ambient light rejecting screen to get a picture that does not look washed out. Next, we are going to take a look at the best options in the over $7,000 range. First, we have the JVC DLA-NZ8. The black levels on this projector are just unbelievable thanks to its DILA panels, boasting a 100,000:1 native contrast ratio that makes the Sony's blacks look gray in a side-by-side comparison. Its blue-iscent laser delivers 2,700 lumens, and when combined with JVC's unmatched frame adapt dynamic tone mapping for high dynamic range content and its 8K eShift-X processing, the picture detail is simply staggering. However, for all its cinematic glory in a dark room, it is noticeably less bright than the Sony, and its input lag for gaming, while supporting 4K at 120 Hz, is a touch higher. Next, we have the Sony VPL-XW7000ES. This projector is an absolute brightness bazooka, pushing out a massive 3,200 lumens from its laser light source, which makes high dynamic range highlights sear your eyeballs and gives it a clear advantage in rooms that are not perfectly dark. I've found it's true. Native 4K SXRD panel paired with the new Advanced Crisp Focus lens provides some of the most stunningly sharp images you can get, with a perceived detail that sometimes even surpasses the JVC. The trade-off for that brightness, however, is a native contrast that simply can't render the deep inky blacks of the JVC models, and its gaming capabilities top out at 1080p resolution for 120Hz playback, not 4K. Finally, we have the JVC DLA-NZ8. This model is the intelligent way to get that world-class JVC performance, offering nearly all the contrast and black level magic of the more expensive NZ8 with an 80,000:1 native contrast ratio and the same excellent frame-adapt HDR processing. You are still getting the long-life laser light source and full support for 4K gaming at 120Hz, which makes it feel just as premium and capable as its bigger brother for most content. The main sacrifice is brightness, as its 2200 lumens output is a clear step down from both the NZ8 and the much brighter Sony, so you really need to pair it with a proper screen in a fully light-controlled space to see its full potential. Thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful to you. If you found this video to be helpful, leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this in the future.